Being in a marathon is just to be a part of the selected group of people that are great. But there is another level to being the person who wins the marathon.
When you think about the Elon Musks of the world, the Jeff Bezos of the world, the Michael Jordans, all these people are great because of the sacrifices they've made to become great.
Are you sure you want what you're saying you want?
But it's important to be selective about what you admire about that person. Don't just follow an Elon Musk and say, I want to be like Elon Musk.
A lot of the times those guys are drinking champagne alone. Rich, being extraordinary comes at a price. You and I definitely know that. But what I'm seeing more online and the further we dive into our community is this obsession with people wanting to be like other people who are considered sickos, goated. But I think the more normal term would be just human beings that are one-on-one in their respective fields. And what we talked about off air, which we thought would make a great episode, was this price that you have to pay for being extraordinary. And this idea of a lot of people in our community, a lot of young men going the route of fuck it, no plan B, I'm going all in. Now, we talked about this. We're not against that, but every rose comes with some thorns. And I think that's something we wanted to discuss today. I don't know if you have anything to share on like how the subject came up.
Yeah, I was, casually watching a video on Elon Musk, and they were asking him, who are the people you admire? And he mentioned Larry Page, the folks who founded Google. And then he mentioned Jeff Bezos. And he said Jeff Bezos was interesting because he's also has a space initiative. And, he was saying how he admires really smart people. But when you think about the Elon Musks of the world, the Jeff Bezos of the world, the Michael Jordans, the Kobe Bryant's, all these people are great because of the sacrifices they've made to become great, and I feel like most people, when they look at them, they just look at them as a byproduct of their success and sort of like the end result of who they were and who they became. But Michael Jordan famously got cut from, I think it was like a varsity college team. Kobe had like airball moments in the 90s, and he wasn't like, the nicest. Elon Musk almost went bankrupt in like 2008 and, rebounded and went on to found many incredible companies. Their path to success hasn't always been easy. It's certainly cemented in failure, and they were able to recover from all those moments.
Yeah, I think the phrasing is no plan B, burn the boats. Right? And what you're saying is when you do enough research beyond the surface, or you get to learn somebody as a celebrity after they've made their accomplishments, you have no idea what they sacrificed on many levels to even get to the point where you know their name. I think the photo of Jeff Bezos in that little office with all the junk around him, he doesn't look healthy. He's definitely bald. And I think he was like in his early 30s. He looked run down. That is the level of sacrifice from that point all the way till he got to his 40s, when he actually became relevant enough to be the guy who created Amazon.com, the store that you can buy anything from. To be Bezos now, you would have to sacrifice everything that Bezos sacrificed then. And that was just the gray area that we wanted to unpack today. It's like from Kanye to Serena Williams to Elon Musk to Joe Rogan to one of your favorites, the physical strength training guru god of all of them.
David Goggins?
Yeah, David Goggins. The level of sacrifice, I think that's his whole campaign, right? Like, you have no idea what I'm sacrificing in order to even conquer the demons that I'm running from, let alone inspire you. That comes at a cost. No plan B comes at a cost.
Sacrifice and the discipline that it takes to, like you said, burn the boats, burn the ships. There's no life vest, not giving yourself a way out, no escape path, and say, I'm following this very linear one path goal to achieve, whatever it is that I want to achieve. And I will say, on the pursuit of greatness, bro, that there is no linear path. Like, these folks are still figuring it out as they go about accomplishing their mission. And it's crazy. It's easy to look at someone who's been successful and see all their errors and all their mistakes and be like, oh yeah, I wonder why he didn't do, like, hindsight is 2020, right? You could, when we look at the MJ documentary, The Last Dance, right? You could see every sort of different era of Michael Jordan, and how he had to deal with the press and the scrutiny about the gambling in his life and the hurdles of what it was to be a celebrity and be Michael Jordan at that time. And it wasn't easy for him.
I think the question we're saying is like, are you sure you want what you're saying you want? And Rich and I, as two men in our late 30s, I'm closer to 40 than you are. I think there is a balance that comes with it, with that obsession and that delusion that you think you have towards your goal. And I love that you brought up the Jordan documentary, because I don't know if anyone has seen this, but I stumbled upon his Hall of Fame speech. Do you know about this?
No, I don't.
In his Hall of Fame speech, it's like obviously Michael Jordan's the greatest basketball player of all time. I don't give a fuck what your opinion is. If you want to write it in the comments, feel free. Kobe fans, Jordan fans, LeBron fans, you can have that debate with one of your mothers, because you're not having that debate with me. All I know is one of the most legendary retirement speeches was for the greatest basketball player of all time. And if you've ever seen a Hall of Fame speech, it means you're being inducted to the Hall of Fame, which is essentially what this whole episode is about. You're being goated. You are one of one. You're part of a select group of people that are professionals. In his Hall of Fame speech, this dude proceeded for 17 minutes to flame every person that doubted him, from the age of 16 all the way till his last day in the NBA. For me, it was motivational, because I like being in that mode. I get excited when I see people that are competitive. But it just showed how fucked up his brain is. And he took this moment where all his peers were cheering for him and they were excited about the greatest player of all time being inducted to the Hall of Fame, into being a statue of foreverness. And this dude walked down every person that doubted him, all the way from like his middle school coach to like the dude that got to start over him in high school that he had resentment for the rest of his life. He had one of his greatest rivals sit next to him during the speech just so he could watch, so he could shit on him. I don't think you understand the level of like psycho that is really in the brains of a lot of these people that are extraordinary and one of one. And I could speak to my profession in the music business. I don't like talking about the artists I work with, because I don't think it's fair to them on my personal platform, but you could do one Google and figure out who I've either been around or who I've worked with. These guys' level of dedication and competition for this finite game of being number one on the Billboard charts is a very fucked up game, and it consumes these guys and these girls in a way that most people won't be able to understand. They are obsessed with being the best in their field. And unfortunately, the way a lot of these systems are set up is that there could only be one Amazon in that category. There could only be one Facebook. There could only be one Uber. Notice that I named all those companies, and you would have to Google who their competition is. It's Lyft, by the way. It was MySpace, and I don't know who the fuck competes with Amazon.com. Alibaba, like, well, who's second to Amazon?
Probably Walmart.
Walmart. Winner takes all games require you to be insanely dedicated, and that is a double-edged sword. And that's something, Rich, I know you wanted to talk about. That comes at a cost, including guys like Elon Musk, who I know you followed his career very thoroughly.
Yeah, I know Elon Musk famously, he has a like deranged daughter who wants nothing to do with him, and a couple of his ex-wives have spoken illy about him. And you know, that's part of the sacrifice you make when you're reaching greatness and building 5-6 different businesses. Like you're unfortunately not gonna have time for your family, and that has gone on with like other athletes or famous people. I know famously Steve Jobs had a terrible relationship with his daughter, and it's documented in history.
Terrible. Bro, not only is Steve Jobs world class at what he did for a living, God rest his soul, but he was a world class piece of shit, and it's very well documented. I admire the fuck out of Steve Jobs. He's one of my heroes. His attention to design excellence mixed with his impulse for marketing and understanding what people want, mixed with being able to take advantage of the opportunity of technology when it arose. In all decades that he was alive, he always was ahead of the curve. That's a crazy combination of an executive and someone that's just a true visionary. But you know what kind of piece of shit you gotta be to have a 7-year-old daughter? Deny that she exists when you know she exists. You're a multi-millionaire. This is the best part. He named his computer after the Apple One or the Mac One. He named the second computer the Lisa. His daughter, his biological daughter's name is Lisa. He denied her until she was about 8, but he proceeded to name his computer after his first daughter. And then when he got confronted on it, he was like, no, Lisa stands for LIS. And he made up an acronym. The dude is burnt out. That's what I'm saying. Think about that Jordan story. Think about that Steve Jobs story. I could get into Kanye. These guys are not wired the same way most people are wired. Are you sure you're ready for the sacrifice that comes with this level of excellence?
Yeah, all while we record this on a MacBook Pro.
While I'm saying thank you, Steve Jobs, but I'm sure his daughter. I'm sure she's happy now, but somebody should check in on Lisa. See how she's doing.
Yeah, but that's the dynamic, right? Like when you look at all these people, MJ, Kobe, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, or anybody who you admire or consuming self-help content from, is like, what are you admiring these people for? I think you should be very selective about what it is about them that you like, because the other side of the spectrum is that, by the way, there's a lot of things about these individuals that are bad and that you shouldn't follow. Naturally, they've made a lot of sacrifices to get to where they got to, but it's important to be selective about what you admire about that person. Don't just follow an Elon Musk and say, I want to be like Elon Musk and embody everything that embodies Elon Musk, because then you're going to be sleeping 2 hours a day, right? You're probably not going to be showering. You're going to be consumed building this one product. You're going to isolate yourself from the world. Your relationships are going to be strained because of it. And it's just not a good path to go down.
Yeah, Rich, I think one of the biggest takeaways from this conversation for me is that, and I don't mean to disagree with the point that we're making for the entire show, but it's, trust me, if Rich's family watched or listened to this episode, or my family watched and listened to this episode, they'd probably laugh because they'd say, these guys are hypocrites, because I barely see them around at family events. Most of their family doesn't know anything about them because they're not participating in every one of our cousins' birthday parties. They've left the family and moved to different locations and are not around us. I don't have a lot of friends anymore. Same for you. I used to have a lot of friends when I was younger. We're speaking from the perspective of people who have sacrificed a lot to gain the little bit of success that we were able to gain. But that is like the difference between not signing up for a marathon and being in a marathon. Being in a marathon is just to be a part of the selected group of people that are great. But there is another level to being the person who wins the marathon. That is sicko mode. That is extraordinary levels of dedication and sacrifice you have to put into your craft to get to that level. And I believe the point you just made is very relevant. Be careful who your idols are, because you're only seeing them after they hold the trophy up and the confetti's falling on them and they're popping champagne. But the price that I've noticed in my late 30s is you can win the marathon of life all by yourself with zero distractions in monk mode, or on your stoicism journey where it's only you and the prize, you and your goal. But what happens a lot, man, is when you finally obtain that goal, you get the Ferrari, you get the 8% body fat, 12 pounds of muscle, you're yoked, you're the strongest guy in your high school. A lot of the times those guys are drinking champagne alone at the finish line. So be careful with who you idolize, because you don't know what their lives are like beyond that moment of them holding up the trophy or drinking the champagne. A lot of motherfuckers that are that successful are really lonely, or they're broken. They're tied to their identity so crazy that they can't be anything else other than the person they project to the world. So again, it comes at a cost. These roses have thorns. Just be aware that they have thorns.